Hey, good morning, good afternoon. Today's Monday, March 12th, 2018, and we're doing the morning business headline commentary. Looking at the headlines right now, as we know, the Ivy League endowments are a little bit struggling with their returns. I did see wild bets by even like the Harvard's endowment on trees, unusual products because they have so much money they had to create unusual instruments to invest in. So so as you can see, Buffett is at his game with the old school kind of investments. So I have some confidence in his like agenda against Ivy League endowments because it's this old school stuff, not like IBM related or tech stuff like that. All right, so it seems like the Broadcom Qualcomm transaction received some skepticism. I mean, as you know, like, and it seems like consumers would benefit if they stay separately. And financially, both companies are doing fine by itself, not struggling or anything like that. And there's not a lot of chip players like I mean they have bulge bracket chip players, but not a lot. So I mean, looking at it like that, if they did a merger, this seems to be not good for the consumers or for competition at all. Dropbox sets IPO. I mean, it's nothing new. Box already came out as IPO and didn't do much. Not spectacular. And Dropbox would like a little bit like dilute the market for these file sharing, cloud file sharing services. If you know tech, there's a lot of other companies that offer similar stuff. A lot of them. You can easily do it on Google. You can easily do it on Microsoft Cloud or even in Windows. Um, so these are not really unique or revolutionary products. It just like wrapped it around like a packaging in terms of UI, um, and that's it. Um, I mean, that's my commentary on that. So I did have like a talk with somebody from Dow. Inform me about how Dow has a mature consulting business that competes against Deloitte, IBM Consulting, and so forth like that. So I did sense that something was up. Um, that there's some major changes going on. Tesla, having production problems since a lot of employees that they depend on to for production designs have been hired away. I mean, they can try to hide them back and so forth like that, but they did not do that. So therefore, the top guy have to contend with overlooking production. They say Asia to become number one stock market. Not too sure about that. As we'll see in the next short period of time, how the Hang Seng would gyrate above and below 30,000. because the gains was like coming very rapidly. As you know, the quarterly reports would show that the report card does not support that much higher. So they would try to push it up in between quarterly and then realize what's going on, and so forth like that. I mean, this is a little bit affected by optimism, global economic optimism that may be waning a little bit. All right, that's a little bit of that. All right, so as we resume into CNBC, so we look into like people getting older and they have to choose a successor. So that's happening with a lot of companies right now. Um, I do reserve judgment right now, um, for the fact that you know, like you're not sure, like until somebody takes on the role and performs. Yeah, I'll reserve a little bit judgment. So let's look at the oil a little bit. Oil 60.95. I do believe it may fall into the low 50s. Reasoning? I mean, the final actuality of facts is that the US is producing a lot more oil in the near term, and the future prediction is that a lot of government allowing offshore drilling. That's the future production. Um, so you see that, and there's a lot of eventual adoption of electric cars which have no gasoline engine. So we don't have gasoline engines. You don't burn or need to buy any gas. Also, there's an adoption of hybrids as well that will increase fuel efficiency. Therefore, you buy less gas. Fuel efficiency in airplanes, and so forth like that. All right, so you see Asia. So you see Hang Seng trying to, you know, in between quarterly earnings, try to pump it up a little bit. And we see high gyration with the Hang Seng, as we just see recently. And you see the reasoning eventually when quarterly reports comes out, and even regulation by the regulator, trying to see what's going on. So you do see the sanctions against foreign countries that are having a new bite and much more bite into the financial holdings. So that's why that they use cleverly use the Olympics as a what do you call it, a decoy into the underlying need to negotiate. All right, that's that a little bit. See the top gainers like Micron that produces like SSD hard drives and also like memory chips. Yeah, that's cool. Personally, I do see a drop in the SSD pricing due to the fact that there's a significantly less demand forecast for iPhone, which also uses the same memory chips. For me, that's like an indicator of Apple or the you know financial transactions, businesses for tech companies that produces tech products that requires memory chips. It's good that Micron is able to lower the pricing in general for SSD that uses memory chips. SSD drives is like much faster hard drive for your computer that you can upgrade. The irony is like Apple products are now solder the hard drives, so you cannot easily upgrade it. So as I mentioned before, other competing laptop manufacturers are able to steal a lot of business away from Apple because they're able to allow you to easily upgrade your internal components like RAM, memory, and hard drives to SSD. So, that's a little bit of actual not too smartness in tech, which you see eventually in the outcome of the quarterly earnings, lower quarterly businesses of iPhone transactions and also laptop transactions, where other companies are very competitive in gaining businesses and adding features such as allowing you to upgrade the internal components easily. All right, internal struggle. So as you can see, um, no, as everybody know that the Chinese central government was able to abolish term limits. Yes, that's a little bit due to my commentary of the Three Kingdoms. The philosophy in the Three Kingdoms is to have successful kingdoms. You need to have relative stability in the leadership. If you like do away with Xi's presidency, as you know by now, in the past when Xi took office, there's a lot of turmoil in the economy, global economy, because people were trying to attack the economy for a new successor, ruler of the second largest economy. So they understood that and they went back to the Three Kingdoms philosophies and they, you know, look into stability of leadership and that would, bring better prosperity. The last thing they wanted to do after the, global optimism of businesses is to rock the boat with a new leadership. So that's a little bit of that of the understanding the history. You need to know your history, to prevent bad things from happening. And you look into the recent history and the long-term history of the country. Again, Micron doing very well. Whole Foods is wielding a lot of juggernaut influence in trying to lower pricing in their stores, which probably eventually will invite me or entice me into buying stuff from Whole Foods. The thing is, it's not very good parking. Only like certain a few stores have good parking. So I'll try to take advantage of the maybe late night. If they open the store later, I'll probably be able to buy stuff from them because I can rack up rewards points. All right, all right. Okay, so let's see. We have a lot of global issues and stuff like that. So you have crypto news. They say bad when bad news come out is bad news for cryptocurrency. Now let me ask you, like, if bad things happen with the if they is based on U.S. dollars, do you like say that we need to ban cash? Because like they keep saying the similar stuff like, yo, drug dealers they're using cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, and we should ban Bitcoin because the drug dealers are using them. Well, before Bitcoin they used cash, right? US dollars. Should we ban US dollar cash? That's a this reasoning it would be taking prerogative over cryptocurrency because cash is very scandalous or even um, corrupt base. So many conspiracy based on the U.S. dollar. Maybe you should just ban the U.S. dollar. But these the market of the U.S. dollars is humongously larger than anything imaginable. You know. All right. So significant things happening. Um, you know, um, Relatively still like a good economy that's like making the tilt to end its run a little bit. So you see capitulations in the stock market where the early adopters of the there's a early adopters for anything like early indicators indicating stuff, and then they bet on the early run or the end of the early run of stuff. So you see, like early adopters of that, the bull run's ending is like influencing the stock market right now. And we also see China was able to end its term limits in a bid to maintain stability. Um, and it appears like the confluence of major events is gotta happen. If they do change Xi at the end of the two terms, it's in similar timing where the trade early adopters of the end of the bull run can use it to to their interest, which is to see an end of the bull run and bring the global economy into a recession if the Xi was going to leave office within the two term limits. Now that they saw that, I think they see a little bit. So they're able to avoid that and maintain stability in the economy, so it's not hackable in terms of that Xi leaving. So that's based on a philosophy in the past, long past, and recent past when Xi initially took over of the central government leadership. All right, so I did mention extended period of time in my commentary. All right, so all right. I would say good luck to the new leadership and new leadership initiative in the first companies. All right, today's Monday, March 12th, 2018, and we're doing the morning business headline commentary. Something of note, I do have Indian followers and Chinese business followers. One of my followers, India's Modi, went for a big hug on Amazon after my dated video featuring Amazon. Also note, I did mention that on a Wednesday commentary that future car companies need to survive. They need to have a version of a hybrid or even EV, full EV, electric vehicle versions of their models in order to survive in the near future of the car market. And within the same day, Ford Motor Companies came out with an announcement within less than 6 hours that they would plan future resources into bigger cars with a version that's also with a hybrid and electric, full electric as well. The third thing, I do have Chinese business followers that saw my video on supercars with robotics manufacturing. And after that data video, my Chinese business followers bought out Germany's firm, robotics firm. So that's a little bit of that. Three of them that some of my followers took in the significance. All right, happy trading Monday, March 12th, 2018.